Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very first episode of the Optimizing Health, and welcome back to the Daily Dose. My name is Kumba.
And my name is Abdul Karim Faye.
And once again, welcome. So, to our amazing guests, thank you guys so much for coming on very short notice. I'll leave the floor to you guys to tell us a bit about yourselves, introduce yourselves, and then we can proceed. Grace?
Hi, everyone. My name is Grace Amarachi Okorafor. I'm a medical doctor and a fitness influencer and a weight loss coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Aisa Tunyang, also like Dr. Aisa Tunyang. Now, I just completed medical school and I'm also passionate about health, especially women's health. Thank you.
Once again, thank you guys so much for coming on our episode. So we have a very interesting topic today. So our topic is something that women go through a lot, but it's rarely been spoken about. And even if it's been spoken about, it's considered as taboos and just a lot of problems around one conversation that shouldn't even,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today we're talking about abnormal uterine bleeding. It sounds very medical.
Very medically.
So we'll try our best to break it down as best as we can. And hopefully by the end of this segment, you would go home with a lot and you would know a lot of things that you can teach other people. The whole point of this podcast, as far as we are concerned, is to be able to share information that can be reshared to other people. So it's very important that we break it down as best as we can. Abnormal uterine bleeding, before we can talk about it, we need to know what the normal bleeding is. Uterine bleeding, in this sense, we're talking about someone that is not pregnant and someone that's not pregnant. So we're talking about normal menstruation. Okay. And before that, would you like to say anything about periods?
Before that, I think we should start with talking about menstruation in general, especially for young women now. And before anything, I would like to ask you guys how your menstrual cycle was, how it started, what age you were, and also how did you learn about menstrual cycles? How did you learn about your period? Because I'm pretty sure our parents are not telling us much. So, Grace, we would like to start with you. How did you know about your period? Who told you about your period? And how was it? How was it just like in general?
So my first period, wow, that was such a confusing time. I was like 10 or 11 and I was in class, as most girls are. As most girls of that age are, I was in class and I felt something, but I wasn't sure what it was.
Something was coming out.
I'm like, something's happening. Let me just go to the toilet. Maybe I need to pee, So I went to the toilet, checked, I saw blood. I was like, what's going on here? Like, I knew about periods because, like, my sister, I have an older sister. She had gotten her period like a few years before, earlier. So I was like, okay, I know about periods. Like, I know what a period is, but now what do I do? Like, I know that I'm supposed to like put something there, but like, where do I get the thing?
What is it?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? And then I had to go to the teacher's room. There was a teacher there that I knew and I told her, I think I'm seeing my menses. I didn't say menses, I said, I think I'm seeing my blood. That's what I said. I think I'm seeing my blood. And then she was like, okay, all right, I have a pad. You know how to use it. I said, what's a pad? How do I use it? So she had to like come me to the bathroom. She helped me clean up and gave me a pad and everything. And then, I went back home. I told my sister about it. I told my parents about it as well. And then they were like, okay, my sister was actually a lot more forthcoming than my parents were, if I'm being honest. And so my sister was like, okay, here's a pad. This is what you do with it. This is when you change it. This, that, and the third. Things to do. Basically feminine hygiene. Just a quick little rundown. And then when I told my mom, she was like, well, welcome. Welcome to womanhood. But yeah, that was about it. There wasn't really any, any real introduction. I feel like everything I learned by myself on the internet or when I went into medical school.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, mine was also like maybe similar to Grace's own, because when it came to menstruation, it was, you remember during primary school, the pop FLE we usually do. So that's how I learned about menstruation and the menstrual cycle. Like there was no information from home because, the African mentality. It's hard that you see parents talking to their
about it,
kids about menstruation. So mine, fortunately, it was at home, not at school, unlike Gracie. So it was at home. I started having like this little abdominal pain, lower abdominal pain. So went and checked in, and I saw blood. So when I saw it at that point in time, like I was not so surprised. I think it was around 12 or 13 years, because I already knew about it. So I didn't panic, let's say, like unlike other people. So I already knew what to do. I knew about pads because I had quite like older cousins at home. So I have seen like what they do. So it was easier for me. So when my mom knew, like the typical African, that's why when I tell this to people, they usually laugh. You know what she said was, so how me go So that was it. It was not about, okay, this menstruation is about so and so. No. So how me go there? Like that was the information. So that's what they always talk about. So how me go? Because we started our menstrual cycle. So that was it for me.
So as you were growing up, how did you learn more about it?
Okay, from school, like we are in the internet generation, so we know about so many things about the menstruation, the menstrual cycle, but most things became clear, like when I became a medical student, because I was able to understand the cycle more, like what happens, the changes, because before, like my knowledge was vague in it. So that's how it happened. So along the years, it has been good. The only problem was like the pain that we usually face every month. Because at the end of every month, I'll be dreading the pain that I'll be facing. So it has not been getting better. Like it gets worse with time sometimes. That's what I say.
Unfortunately, women and our problems.
Yes.
Mine also was similar to a bit to Aissatou Nyang's own. With my friend group, I remember that time I was in like Form 3. So I had a friend group that they already saw their period. I was the only one there. I was just like, when is the time? When am I going to have it, Anticipating, like, come on.
Yeah.
So one day I remember, so they would always talk about their period. They would always talk about how they would see their blood and, the blood clots and all of that. And I was just there like, I don't know what these people are talking about, but I can't wait, So we had an older girl. She was like 5 years older than us that was in our school. She came late. She started school late. So she knew about menstrual cycle, about periods a lot. So I knew a bit about it. So I remember one day I was like 14 on a Friday after school. I went back home and then I could just feel something coming. And I was like, is this it? Is this my time? So I went into the toilet and I saw it. I was like, oh, boobs are coming. But let me tell you something. It was not even like that. It does not happen. Well, you guys know already, but it's not like that. So I was so happy all of that was happening. But then at the end of the day, I was like, I still don't have a pad. I know what a pad is, but then I was like, I need to go and find a pad. So I have to tell somebody. So luckily my older sister already had seen her. So I went to her and then she was also a bit young. So she did not know what to say. She just told me, okay, this is what a pad is. Put it on like this. And then she left me like that. I was like, what am I going to do now? She just gave me what she knew. Exactly. She gave me what she knew. And then she was like, I'm a bounce, take care of it yourself. So I just did that. And I think I did not tell my mom until like 2 days after. So my mom was like, what is wrong with you? Like, why didn't you tell me now? And I was like, you're talking to a pro here. I only know a few things about it. But then, I still got the lecture of don't go around men, don't do this and this and that. And luckily for me, a few years later, I started medical school, so I could learn more things about it for myself. And I would have died to have a podcast like this that would explain menstrual cycle properly to me. And I did not get that, but I'm so lucky that I actually had friends around that were very over-savvy and thought that they knew it, but because it was really good, they actually did help me a lot.
So I have a similar story.
Yeah. How was your cycle? What happened to you? How did it start?
So I was in class.
You're wearing your uniform. And then what happened?
That's it for you.
No, I think here's the thing. I am very passionate about these topics, sexual reproductive health for both men and women. So most people that know me for these kinds of discussions. So the one thing that I face is yo gurna lutanga nika fini di wa afidi period. Yo danga wo bot yo gori taja mutu. So I've heard a lot of these things.
Oh.
So the main reason why I keep doing what I do is because we had the opportunity to go to medical school. All of you have repeated the same thing. And we learn a lot of these things and we understand our bodies as much. But the things that we see as obvious because we learned it, the general populace, they don't know it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people ask me questions that they sound really absurd in my head because I'm like, wow, this is obvious. How don't you know this? But then genuinely, there's so much lack of information out there.
Yeah.
That these kinds of platforms are actually very, very important. And you don't have to belittle anything that you're saying. As far as it is information and it's knowledge, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 persons out there that it's going to be so beneficial to. So for that same reason, I keep doing what I do. I keep talking about the topics that people don't like talking about. Because if you go out, there's a lot of people talking about diabetes, hypertension, etc. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to talk about reproductive health.
Yes.
Nobody wants to talk about periods. Nobody wants to talk about STIs.
periods,
Nobody wants to talk
exactly.
about sexual dysfunction. None of that. So man, I agree. I'll be the gore I'll take. Just make sure that you learn and you're able to teach other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most important thing because there's such a stigma when it comes to
Around
like
female
female
reproductive.
health
Yeah.
and like reproductive health and STIs and things of that sort. It makes you feel like, oh, if you talk about it, it's a taboo.
There's
I'm
a
pretty
lot.
sure.
You know, like-
I'm pretty sure
I've
there's
gone
one
to
auntie that is
schools-
watching this right now and be like, "What are these kids doing?"
Yeah, like-
I've gone to schools where we ask kids to tell us about their experiences. And you have a very cute little girl like this just say, well, when I'm on my period, I run away from boys. I ask you why, and you're like, because my mother told me if I stand near a boy while I'm
get
on my
pregnant.
period, I'll
Get pregnant.
You know, these kinds of things just they cause a lot of problems because
Yeah.
when you this girl will grow up with paranoia.
Definitely.
They were running away
Don't
from
we all
people for
have
no
paranoia? I
reason.
think we all have paranoia at that point.
At some point,
Like,
yeah.
come, I was 16 and telling
I was
men,
scared
come
to sit
on,
beside boys.
move, like.
Exactly. So for that reason, we're intentionally talking about periods, and I'm the one that's going to introduce it. Deal
Okay.
with it.
If you don't like it, meet him in his house.
So how I like to explain it to especially young kids, let's break it down to that level, is the reason why you're seeing your period is because you're built special. Where there are 2 genders, right? At least men, women, biologically speaking. And we are nothing but sperm donors as far as reproduction is concerned.
That's very
Right.
true.
The
That
entire
is coming from a man.
process from the way the fertilization happens to all the way where the baby grows to the full human being happens inside of the woman's womb. So that is something really special. And you're the only person or only sex or gender that is capable of doing that. So for you to be able to create an entire human being for 9 months, there are certain things that are supposed to be added into your body, right? So that's how I started. At least now I make you feel special.
They are already special.
Exactly. So secondly, menstruation in itself is that thing that they see, the blood that they see every end of month for majority of people. Others, it's a little bit longer than that, but majority, every end of month. It's bleeding, it's blood, and it's not nasty. We'll talk about that and why we're saying that it's not nasty. Good. So 1, men have something we call sperm, right? Viewer disclosure, we are not diluting.
This is a medical podcast.
It's a
so we're
medical
going to make
podcast
sure
and
that-
everything is educational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
strictly.
Right. So men have what we call sperm and women have something we call an egg. Everyone that has gone to primary school must have heard that before. Right? Good. So because the female body is made to reproduce, every end of month, your body is expecting you to get pregnant. Simply put. Every end of month, your body is expecting you to get pregnant. So if you do not have any sexual intercourse, anything sexual, and there is no pregnancy at the end of the month, the body is disappointed.
Yeah.
So
It
because
gets
of that
angry.
disappointment,
It gets angry.
it gets
It
angry and it
starts-
starts squeezing stuff and then
Yeah.
makes you bleed. So maybe don't disappoint it next time.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about all that. I mean, do it at the right time.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you're
If
ready,
your- if your- your
you're
frontal
ready.
lobe is fully developed.
Exactly. Your frontal lobe is
Yeah,
developed.
but right now, let it be angry.
Exactly.
Let it be
about
angry.
frontal lobes. Anyways,
Please don't rush.
Exactly. Don't rush me.
so the next question that they ask me is, why does it have to hurt? It is already weird enough that you're bleeding at the end of the month. It's already hard enough that you're seeing blood, actual blood coming out of you. Some people don't like it at all, even at their old ages, right?
I don't.
Where does it have to hurt? So the simple explanation is this. I tell them to picture a bottle of water, right? And then you cover it. You punch a hole at the top that would represent the vagina, where the blood is supposed to come out of.
Yeah.
And the bottle itself would represent the uterus. And the water in the bottle would represent the blood that is supposed to come out. If you punch a hole at the top of the bottle and you turn it upside down, the water would come out, but it would be trickling. The vanika tutti. And if you allow that to continue, it might take the whole month or even 2 for you to bleed entirely. So biology knows that. So it says, okay, we don't want her to bleed the entire month. That doesn't make sense. So let us just make her bleed for the next maybe 5 days, 7 days. That's fine. How will you do that? You squeeze the bottle.
Exactly.
So by squeezing the bottle, you're able to expel the water quicker, and then you're able to remove a lot more of that blood. So picture this in the uterus. There's a lot of blood that is there. It was built up during the entire month. If you want it to come out, you have to squeeze it. And that squeezing is those cramps that you feel.
Yeah.
It is different for different people, but today we will talk about how the cramp that you're feeling is probably not normal. Right?
Yeah.
So that is a brief introduction to what menstruation is and what cramps are. And then we can open the floor for when it becomes abnormal, and then what it could mean for you and what are the kinds of things that you can do.
Yeah. I just also wanted to add something to what Dr. Kareem said. He mentioned...
I like it.
Dr. Kareem. So he mentioned that, like, yes, there's like water in the bottle that's trying to come out of the tiny hole there. But you also have to think about it like this. Because your body is kind of disappointed that you're not pregnant, what it wants to do is, it's like, okay, fine, I'll give you another chance to get pregnant next month. So let's rearrange this room. So it starts peeling off the walls, it's peeling off the paints. So it's like, exactly, shredding off the tissue in your uterus. And it's like, let's regenerate new tissue. This time, don't disappoint me. I'm waiting for a baby to be in there. So basically,
So
that's
you can
another
imagine
reason.
people that have gone all the way to 28, 29, full disappointment every year.
It's not like that.
It's not like
Let
that.
me be disappointed until you are
Until
ready.
you're ready, please. No pressure.
Exactly. But nothing will be funny if something else happens there.
Exactly.
Come on.
So basically, it's like, it's trying to regenerate. So like, imagine it trying to, it's like yanking off the skin. So imagine you trying to yank off your skin, you will feel pain. So that's like another way to explain why you feel cramps during your monthly cycle.
I think it's just very dramatic, to be honest. It's
Very,
not supposed
very
to be that
dramatic.
dramatic. Why are you giving me that much pain because I don't want to get
I
pregnant?
know.
Come on.
Can't we just have an agreement?
Like, if you want to get
It's-
pregnant so
it's
much, go and get pregnant yourself.
consequence.
Leave me out of it. Please.
Girl.
It's consequence.
Sometimes I think like how our menses will come is like if you are ready to get pregnant, so it will just come at that time.
Exactly.
Not like
It's a very bipolar thing.
If only
The
it was
uterus
that
is bipolar.
easy.
I know. Like, we can just have an agreement. When I'm ready, I'll call you.
Yeah.
Right now, just
Exactly.
stay where you are.
Just chill.
Just chill.
you can
Please.
imagine every month going through the
Going
same
through
thing.
the same
Sometimes
thing,
it can be depressing.
Bro.
But
And if-
then, to be honest, like, I don't like my period. Let me be
neither.
very, very honest. I don't like my period. But then, if I stayed a month or 2 without it coming, it would not be for
You'll
me.
be worried.
I would be worried. So what menstruation is just a normal part of your life. As a woman, you're going to have to go through your menstruation. As a normal woman, you're supposed to have to go through your menstruation.
Yeah.
So if you don't see your menstruation, that's a problem. So before we actually move into what is abnormal and normal, I will talk about the cycle length, the bleeding, how long it takes to bleed, and what's normal, what's not normal, and the duration, the amount of pads that should be soaked to be considered normal. So we should talk about that, and then we move on to what's abnormal. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to say anything about that?
That's fine. You can just go ahead. I guess it will be nice for the viewers to know the normal,
normal,
so that they can know the
exactly.
abnormal.
So we know that the normal cycle length lasts from 21 to 35 days.
Yeah.
And anything lower than that or anything more than that is considered abnormal. So that is for the whole month. Okay. So we also know that bleeding would last from 3 to 7 days. So less than 3 would be a problem. More than 3 to 7. More than 7 would be a problem too.
Yeah.
And also, like Abdul Karim mentioned, you do get pain when it's time to see your period. There would be definitely cramps, but then there's a limit to it. There's a type of cramps that you have that is not definitely normal. You know, like I was mentioning again, it's very normal to see your period. It's very okay to see your period. You're gonna have cramps, the headaches, the nausea, the vomiting, the hormonal problems
Everything.
everywhere. But that's what is normal. Okay, so just a bit of what is normal. I think there's also an episode on menstruation on Hot in the City that you guys can go back to, because unfortunately we can't take too much time talking about menstruation. We'll have to move on to abnormal uterine bleeding.
Yeah.
But that's basically just a bit of what a normal menstrual cycle should look like. Okay, so for abnormal uterine bleeding, shall we?
Okay. Then maybe we start with Gracie because he's so passionate about PCOS. So
Yes.
let's
But
delve into
then
it.
before we go into PCOS and the types of and what would cause abnormal uterine bleeding, we want to actually talk about what abnormal uterine bleeding is.
So we've briefly talked about the normal.
Yeah.
She mentioned that your normal cycle length is supposed to be between 21
To
to
35.
35.
Days.
And 21 is a very small number. It means you might see it before the month ends.
So like
It doesn't
twice in a
mean-
month.
It doesn't mean it's abnormal. And we know that the flow is supposed to be between 3 to 7 days. It means the number of days that you actually bleed for should be between 3 to 7. So all these are normal parameters that we talked about. We know that there's normal pain that you can have, but then if you have so much pain that it stops you from doing your daily activities, you
That's not
cannot do
normal.
anything. You have a lot of people that will call you and tell you, "Man, mom, so my cycle, I feel so much pain that I have to be taken to a hospital all the time. Or I cannot do anything. I
can't
just
do
have to
anything.
stay in my room and I'll be
Yeah.
crying the whole time." That is not normal.
That's
I
not
know that
normal.
society makes it seem as though as a woman you're supposed to endure a lot of pain, and pain, abdominal pain especially, is normal for women. But then there's a limit to it.
Yeah.
There is definitely
There's a
limit.
limit to it. So in essence, abnormal uterine bleeding, in its simplest terms, any abnormality that you have in your cycle with regards to the amount of blood that you bleed, the amount of time or the duration with which you bleed, and how often you bleed, and whether it is regular or irregular.
Yeah.
So any of these things, any of these parameters, if there's any problem in it, then it is considered an abnormal uterine bleed. Considering the fact that you are not pregnant. Very important distinction. If you are not pregnant, if there's any discrepancies or any abnormalities with the cycle length, the amount of days that you bleed, the regularity of your cycle, and how often that you bleed, that is considered abnormal uterine bleeding.
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and talk about some of the things that can cause it, and then talk into a bit more detail about it. So the floor is yours.
Okay.
So we want to divide it into structural and non-structural.
Yeah.
So for structural, like fibroids and PCOS and whatnot, and also hormonal problems.
causes.
So for the very first one, because we can go ahead with
Yes,
talking
that's
about
great.
PCOS. Dr. Grace.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
She's shy.
Very shy, very shy. So basically, PCOS or PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it's a hormonal disorder that is made up of a bunch of symptoms together. So that's why it's called a syndrome. So a syndrome is basically a constellation of different symptoms. And it affects women. It affects the female reproductive system. And basically, it is composed of things such as anovulation. It's a big term, so let me break it down. So anovulation is basically not seeing your periods. Yeah. So anovulation, features of high male hormones. So testosterone. I'm sure most people should know what that is. But if they don't, let me just break it down as well. So testosterone is the male hormone. It's also found in women. Women also create testosterone, but most of the time it's usually turned back into estrogen, or it's bound to like something in your body that keeps it from roaming freely, so it doesn't wreak havoc and you don't start, acting like a man, basically. So in layman terms. So it's composed of anovulation, features of male hormone, and then also, serum-wise, in the blood, you also have high levels of testosterone. So with the features of male hormone, those are things like acne, a lot of acne on your face or maybe on your back. You could also have things such as excessive hair growth. I know that I deal with that a lot. I'm a very hairy person. I also deal with a lot of acne, but thank God we have managed to take care of that one. So anovulation now, that's when we now talk about not seeing your period regularly. So for women with PCOS, you have things like maybe you won't see your period for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. There was a time that I didn't see my period for 9 months. I was scared. I was very, very scared because I was like, this is not normal. Like, I should see my period now, right?
It's a break, but it's also traumatizing.
Just imagine waiting for 9 months.
9 months, and I didn't know what was going
Mm-hmm.
on. I was very scared. And then when it finally came, I think I saw my period for like 14 days straight. I was bleeding for like straight. So basically, the thing with PCOS is it time for me to get deep down into it?
Yes.
Okay.
We're having a conversation about PCOS now.
So the thing with PCOS is there's not one particular cause. There's not one thing that it could be like, this is the problem. But there are things that happen in a cyclical manner that leads to PCOS. So when we think about things like peripheral insulin resistance, so we know what insulin is, but let's assume we don't know what insulin is. I can break that down really quickly. So insulin is basically the hormone in your body that stores glucose, stores sugar, carbohydrates into your cells, right? So you need insulin for that to happen. So in PCOS, most women have peripheral insulin resistance, meaning that the body isn't recognizing. Exactly. It's not, the Bluetooth device is not ready to pair, basically. Like it's not clicking. So because of that, that leads to increased amounts of male hormone in the body. Like it's that high insulin leads to triggering the body to create more testosterone in the body. And then because of that now leads to what's it called? Anovulation. That's the no periods. And then on top of that, because we already have the peripheral insulin resistance, you already have a lot of weight on your body. But the thing that is a misconception that I want to break down is most people assume that women that have PCOS, all of them are obese. But 50 to 60% of women with PCOS are obese, but the remaining 40 are not. So you could have PCOS and still be very slim. So it's not necessarily a predetermining factor for PCOS. So you now have that already, like I said, you have the excess fat on your body. That excess fat is basically triggering your body to create more testosterone, more estrogen, leading back to the anovulation, the no periods. So it's just a cycle. And things like unhealthy diet, smoking, those can predispose you to PCOS. I feel like I've gone on a ramble here.
So just to buttress, testosterone is the reason why my voice sounds the way it sounds. It's the reason why men have
Go off.
have that thick voice.
Yeah.
it's the reason why men have a lot of body hair. On their arms and their chest and things like that. And it's the reason why we usually have a lot of acne on our faces, like you mentioned. So as a lady, when you notice that your period is abnormal, you don't see it for months, or sometimes it will come this month, it will not come the next month, and it will come the third month, and then you'll be bleeding irregularly.
Yeah.
Coupled with the fact that your voice is heavier than usual, you have a lot of acne or pimples on your face. On top of that, you have a lot of body hair. You can also, these are pointing factors, whether you gain a lot of weight or not. These are pointing factors to the fact that maybe, most likely, you might have polycystic ovary syndrome. So I think you did justice to that.
Hair in this case.
I think maybe you can also emphasize on, people have like different ovaries. So like in polycystic, like there is quite a different.
So literally in the name, polycystic. So let's break down what polycystic is. So poly means many, cystic means like a sack filled with water or with fluid. So on your ovaries, you have things called follicles, and these are basically your eggs, but they're not mature yet. They're like your baby eggs, They're not yet gone through ovulation, because in your menstrual cycle, you have 2 phases. You have your ovulation phase and your other phase, your follicular phase.
3 phases.
Yes. So now in polycystic ovarian syndrome, there are lots of baby eggs that never reach maturity. So then, because they never reach maturity, there's not one main egg that will go and then meet the sperm when it's time for pregnancy. When it's time to fertilize. There's never an egg ready, basically. So that's also that also plays into the fact that they never see their period because there's no egg ready to be fertilized. So then your body is in this like limbo phase where it's just waiting.
Right.
But like, what's it waiting for? It's not
nothing,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah. It's just waiting.
Confused.
Yeah. So,
So one question a lot of women have is, if your period skips for 5 months, does it mean the blood is accumulating in your womb for 5 months?
So women with PCOS, right? When we don't see our periods for like up to 5 months, basically what happens is, remember at the beginning you mentioned that for the period to come, there's like blood in there and then there's like the walls as well, they're trying to peel off. So for us, we never get that trigger in our body that, okay, it's time to bring out the blood, right? Basically what happens is the layers of your uterus in PCOS, they kind of keep layering. They kind of keep, your body keeps on creating more room, you know, because like it's in this phase where it's like we're supposed to get pregnant, but
what's
like
happening?
but what's happening? So it just keeps on accumulating and accumulating and accumulating more tissue in your uterus until it reaches a point where the blood supply cannot feed the tissue. So then that's when it's like, okay, now let's shed off, because there's no blood that's reaching that end. So the one that can't be reached is basically what's peeling and coming off and bringing out blood.
Okay.
So it's not like you have 5 months of accumulated blood in you. No, you don't have 5 months of that. It's just that it reaches a point where the blood supply to the tissue in your uterus, it's not sufficient anymore.
Yeah.
So it begins to peel off. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. And it's not mine. It's a question that I get asked a lot. And I like the fact that you broke it down. You mentioned ovulation as well. For people that may not understand, for a woman to be able to get pregnant, ovulation is a very necessary thing that is supposed to happen during the cycle.
Yeah.
Because whether you understand it or not, the one time that you can get pregnant in the entire month is only 1 day. Just a single day. You're having your cycle for 30 days, or you're having your cycle for 35 days, or 21.
To 35.
The only day in that cycle that you can get pregnant is your ovulation day. If you have intercourse before ovulation, unless, because it would not make sense for sperm to not be able to stay in the womb because you only have one chance, or else it's going to be very hard to get pregnant, right? So for that reason, biology made it so that sperm can survive for 3 to 5 days inside of the womb.
Yeah.
So if you have sexual intercourse today and there's ejaculation inside of the uterus, the sperm has the ability to stay in there for 3 to 5 days
And just wait for
and just wait for ovulation.
Yeah.
Because the only time you can get pregnant is ovulation day,
Yeah.
right? So what is happening in PCOS is, because you don't have the normal hormones that a female or a lady is supposed to have, you are not going to have the normal cycle. So that ovulation might skip. So you would see that most women with polycystic ovary syndrome would also suffer from or have problems with getting pregnant or conceiving.
Yeah.
So if these symptoms that we have mentioned are something that you have noticed in your body, and you're married and you're looking to have a child and it's been difficult over the past few years, this could be an explanation, and this could be a sign for you to also go to the hospital and get checked.
Yes.
That's why with PCOS, those battling infertility, it's only when they come to the clinic that's when they will know that they have PCOS, because they'll be battling it all around. Because even you can see people in our society with hair, and so you will not even associate it to PCOS. So they will be like, maybe it's normal, and something they want to come well circular, like a woman to have hair around. When they don't know, maybe sometimes it's due to this hormonal issues.
Yeah.
So it's only when they go to the clinic and they face like infertility for so many years that they will know that they have PCOS.
Yeah. They definitely need to go see an obstetrician or gynecologist and get checked. But I just want to say, PCOS does not mean that you will not get pregnant.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that, for the rest of your life, you're never going to have a child. It doesn't
not
mean
impossible.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that you're less of a woman. It just means that you just need a bit more help, a bit more assistance. There's several things we can do to help with the fertility aspect of PCOS that I'm sure, a doctor can help you explain.
It's actually easy. Just to
Yeah.
calm your hearts a bit. Just losing weight
Yeah.
Can
you get
help.
pregnant. So if you're one of the people with PCOS that has a lot of weight, which is directly caused by the PCOS itself, just by losing weight, exercising a bit, walking, brisk walking, and all those stuff, it can help you.
Yeah, so
I don't think it's that easy.
It's not
though.
complicated.
it's not that
It's not
easy.
that
So like with
easy,
women
to be
with
honest.
PCOS, it's a lot harder to lose weight than
It
the
is
average
actually,
person.
yeah.
Like it takes a lot
It takes
of
a longer
effort.
time.
Because also there's several hormones that go into the whole cycle of PCOS, like things like cortisol. So let me break that down. Yeah, so
Stress
cortisol
hormone,
is like the stress hormone. So
okay.
when you're stressed as a woman with PCOS, most women when they're stressed, they could lose weight. But if you're stressed as a woman with PCOS, you're going to gain weight.
rises.
So anytime I had exams in medical school,
Everybody's looking skinny and
everybody's
lean.
looking skinny
And
and
then
I'm
I was
looking
like,
yeah, it was so shocking for me because whenever I was stressed, I would gain weight easily. Just breathe and I've gained weight. But yeah, it's not as easy to lose weight, but it's not impossible. I did it. I was able to do it. So, and it definitely helped. Thank you. It definitely helped me regulate my cycles. And the rule is, the advice that we usually get from obstetrician is that if you want to start seeing your period as a woman with PCOS, it's recommendable for you to lose 10% of your weight. So let's say you weigh around 80 kg, lose 8 kg, basically.
Okay.
If you weigh around 60 kg,
Lose 6 kg.
that will help your body to start like regulating the cycles a lot more. Yeah. And also with like things like the peripheral insulin resistance, you're going to have to see a doctor for that as well. It's very important that they will probably put you on some medication that will help with that as well. But that's for the other doctors, for the endocrinologists to give you. But also things like hormonal contraceptives.
Yeah.
Those are usually administered to women with PCOS to help regulate your
irregular
cycle.
periods, yeah.
Exactly. So that plus losing weight, you've solved 50% of the issue.
And that causes a lot of problems as well because when you go to the hospital, you're not sexually active, you don't have a husband, and then a doctor gives you contraceptives.
I know, you're like, and but then, I don't
just
think
when you're
it's
doing
not
at
such a
home.
problem. But then because of the myths around
about contraception.
You'll be like, yo, Loma Joheli, lele de.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of stigma as well, and then trying to explain to them that I need it because of this and this and this.
They will not even
They
believe
won't
you.
even believe
Exactly.
you.
I know, even if you take it-
pills. Now imagine you go to your mom and you have like a 30-day pill, and you're telling your mom, okay, I have PCOS, so tell me to drink it. That will be the last time in your house.
Because they'll be like, you're already sexually active.
Exactly.
They
When
will not
that's not
understand.
even the case. Yeah.
Which is why I'm so happy we're doing this to actually raise awareness too. So in cases like this, and you actually go to the hospital and they give you other contraceptives, it's not such a problem to be honest. It's just to help you with your irregular period.
Exactly.
And also, like Asad and Young was saying, with the body hair and all of that, I see a lot of women being bullied because they have more hair. Sometimes they have more hair than even men around them. So they have like a beard, sometimes a mustache, and they have like chest hair, and people just naturally bully them. But it's not their fault since it's hormonal. There's not much that they can do about it, except the weight loss and all of that. But then if you are a person that is going through this, your periods are irregular, you have hair on your face, the best thing to do, go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Go to the hospital, get checked. Usually very curable. PCOS is not...
It's not curable.
but
It's
then
just
you can
manage
you
it.
can manage it,
Yeah,
exactly.
you can manage the
manage it,
symptoms. Yeah. So
And now,
Experience.
and now I think like in the Gambia we have so many professionals like obstetricians and
We have
gynecologists.
a lot,
But you know the issue is most people usually find it hard to leave their homes and go and see like a specialist to help them because there will be like maybe long hours of waiting. But it's worth it. So imagine like from today if you listen to this podcast, you are able to know everything about it. You can go to the hospital and seek help. But some people might wait till they are married and they have infertility. They are not able to have kids before going. So at least now, if you see all the symptoms and signs that Gracie has
That's
listed,
usually the main time that we see them.
when they're married.
During their teenagers, they would see that their periods are abnormal. You would see it this month, you will not see the next. So they take it as normal for them. As in, man moms, my cycle your moms, so this time. So they don't actually come to the hospital to try to find out why.
yeah.
But then the main reason why we usually see them and the reason why we usually diagnose PCOS is because they're having infertility issues. We would have a segment on infertility and go in more detail about that. But then I think everybody should be more curious about their own health.
Definitely.
So if you see anything that's just out of the norm, it does not matter whether when you come to the hospital we'll tell you it's normal. As far as you know it's not, just come,
there is
and then
normal, go
it's
somewhere
better
else.
we tell you it's normal than you think or you sit with the notion that it is normal. Figure it is not, and then you come and cause a problem
I
for
feel like
yourself.
they definitely should, but I feel like there's also a lot of like stigma, a lot of
Around
shame.
talking about your period.
Yeah,
There is a
if
lot
I'm
of
being
stigma,
honest,
actually.
if not for the fact that I was in medical school,
You wouldn't have gone to
I wouldn't.
hospital.
I would have gotten diagnosed because I knew that there was something abnormal about my periods. But I thought, oh, okay, maybe with time it will get regular. It will get regular.
It's not even good time. Sometimes you don't even ask your friends, so you don't even know what's
Yeah,
normal and what's not
and you
normal.
feel some sort of shame. Like sometimes, not everybody, but like I know that I definitely felt some type of shame for a while because I was like, everybody's talking about they got their period this month, but I haven't seen my period in the last 6 months. So like, what's going on here? Like, I don't want to be bullied. I don't want to be, and then on top of that, growing facial hair because I was growing a beard at some point. It's just a mini beard, but like growing that and then like trying to, I guess, figure out my way through it without telling anybody. It's hard, but then basically the whole point of this podcast is you shouldn't feel any shame at all
It's not your fault.
regarding your reproductive health. And also, if you see somebody that looks like they may have
Don't bully
PCOS,
them.
don't bully them. If you don't have
Mind your
anything nice to
business.
say, don't say anything.
Exactly.
Literally, like
Just keep quiet.
exactly.
They
Or-
can see that they have a beard. They don't
Exactly,
have to
they're
tell
very
them that you have a
aware.
beard. Exactly.
Yeah, they're very aware of how they look. They're very aware of their irregular cycles. If anything, if you want to help them, if anything, could be like, oh, I heard about this person that had something like this, and she went to the
what they
hospital,
did.
and exactly, you bring that up to them. You give them a suggestion of how to help, not to bring them down, not to make them feel worse than they already feel.
And I also feels like this comes to the fact that most people are not educated, so they don't know. So sometimes like they're ignorant about certain things that are happening. So someone who doesn't know about PCOS sees someone with facial hair, they'll be staring, they will look at you. They'll be like,
Is this a man?
Yeah, you're a man or a woman.
because they don't know, and most people, because it's a taboo, especially in the Gambia, to talk about the reproductive
stuff
health.
like
Like nobody wants to talk about it. But now, speak up.
Speak up.
And please go get checked before you're ready to get
married,
pregnant, before
yeah.
marriage. Like, don't let marriage be the only reason why you care about your reproductive health.
Exactly.
Like, this is your body, this is your reproductive system, this is your uterus. You should be concerned about things that have to do with you. You should be concerned about your health. You should seek help without having to, have to be married or anything.
And with PCOS, most you'll see like sisters, like siblings. The older sister will have it, the younger sister will have it. Like it runs in the
It
in the
can run in the
family.
family.
So it can definitely run in the family because it's also associated with peripheral insulin resistance, and that's also a form of diabetes, and that's also
Type 1.
hereditary. So it's linked. It's all connected.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would wonder why it's happening to them and not to people around. What can you say about that?
To be honest, I asked that same question.
Like,
Why is it happening
why is
to
it
me?
happening? But like you mentioned, genetics.
Yeah, genetics. Definitely genetics play a role. When I
Genetics
was
will
getting
play a role.
diagnosed, they asked me if somebody else in my family
would have
has
it.
it. And yes, somebody else in my family actually does have it. So it definitely is hereditary, but it also has to do with lifestyle as well. Like how active are you physically? How healthy are you physically? What do you eat? What do you consume? How much exercise do you do on a day? Do you walk around a lot? Do you smoke? Do you drink alcohol?
All of that.
Things like that. Those are risk factors for PCOS. So I think I would use myself as an example. Before, I wasn't really very physically active in the slightest. And I think that definitely played a role in me eventually getting PCOS, as well as the hereditary factor as well. I think my lack of exercise definitely led to the peripheral insulin resistance that led to the cycle, and but I'm taking care of that now.
Good for you.
I hope we don't get it wrong. Just because you're lazy doesn't mean that you have PCOS.
Just because you're lazy doesn't
want
mean
to eat chocolate or watch Netflix will not mean that you have PCOS.
No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that
But
at
it
all.
This
can
is Kumba
predispose
excusing
you.
herself.
I mean, to be honest, that's all I do. And it's just a predisposition, okay? So it means that you can have it.
Have it.
in
Just
the
a
case
risk
like that.
factor,
It
yeah.
can predispose you to having
Yeah.
it. But that doesn't mean that you would have it.
Yeah.
I mean, hit the gym.
Exactly.
It's fine. to
Yeah, it
Get rid of
well.
other things.
Yeah. Be healthy.
Be healthy,
The most
exactly,
important
just be
thing
healthy.
is be healthy.
healthy.
Whether or not it's for reproduction or it's for what, just be healthy,
Be healthy
for
for
you.
yourself.
For
You,
yourself.
be healthy.
Yeah.
So
Right.
That's a good conversation on PCOS.
Yeah.
I think that's one part of abnormal uterine bleeding. Have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, but this one is abnormal in the sense that you might not be seeing it, right? So for the most part, you'll not see it for a month, or you don't see it for 2 months. Some people don't see it for a year.
She hasn't
I
seen
mean, to
for
some people,
9
I think it's a
months.
blessing in disguise.
I mean, low-key, sometimes I was happy, you know?
I don't know about that. Like I mentioned, if my period did not come for 3 months, I would not be laughing.
I mean, no, I get it. No, like the first 1 or 2 months, it's like, oh, okay, it's cool, no cramps. You know, I'm
Exactly,
chilling.
but
Then
then
after the
it's-
second to the third one, I'm like,
what is going on?
something's
Like,
happening.
we're not friends, but please come back.
Like, come back.
But when it does eventually decide to come, how is the cramping?
It's bad.
Mm.
Like I said, the analogy that I gave you before about the walls peeling. Now imagine 9 months of thick walls. Now trying to come off, it's painful, and it's usually very prolonged, and it's very heavy. Like in a day, I could use maybe up to 5-6 pads. Yeah,
In a day.
in a day, especially on the first day.
How do you
That's a
manage the
lot.
pain?
So painkillers, thankfully they help for me. Like they work for me. Like ibuprofen, those help. The hot water bottle as well. I really like the hot water bottle. Like putting the hot water bottle on like my abdomen. That helps me reduce the pain as well.
Okay.
Usually on those days, I usually like to just stay in my house.
Understandable.
Just stay in my house and just relax, sleep if I can, eat something. And things that worsen it that I've heard from other women that have PCOS and also from my experience are things that are filled with sugar. So sugar tends to worsen the cramps.
Okay.
So maybe try and stay away from sugar, at least on the first few days. I think on the 3rd or 4th day, you should be hopefully better.
Yeah, so this could be general for everyone that is having cramps, whether
Yes.
it's PCOS or not.
Exactly.
Reduce sugar, take pain meds if you need them, and then
Yes.
have. Okay.
Just rest.
See, I'm learning a lot.
You see, you're
Yeah.
one of the girls.
Actually, there are a few things that, well, Dr. Patrick would not like me saying this, but there's a few things that I'm learning from you now.
Yeah.
I'm not from the classes that I was
the
supposed to
class.
learn them in. But
I'm glad like I can be a good teacher.
Don't. Okay, I don't want to rain on your parade, but okay, fine.
Don't fight today.
Let's be
Yeah.
friends.
We're friends just for today. Just
for
for today.
today.
Don't
But
fight
thank you so
today.
much for that conversation on PCOS.
You're
I think it's time
welcome.
we move on to
Yeah, now we've talked about when you don't see it. How about women that see it so often, and when they do see it, it's very, very heavy
Very
and they're
heavy.
bleeding a lot? What could that be?
Yeah, women that see it so often and very, very heavy can be a whole lot of things. Because when it comes to abnormal uterine bleeding, we can take
There's a
1
lot.
month
I'm telling you, you can spend
to talk
hours
about it.
there.
Like if we are talking about the structural causes, the hormonal causes,
problems.
there is a whole lot
Contraception,
of it.
pregnancy, there's just too much.
Like even the drugs can cause some certain drugs
that you take.
can cause it. So now let's stick with one for today.
Yeah, let's stick with fibroids now.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Because fibroids is so common, and
is
I know
so common.
so many people know about fibroids. Like in the Gambia, especially women, like maybe they don't know about any other reproductive health issue, but fibroids, most of them know. And you'll see some of them will even diagnose themselves with fibroids.
Fibroid.
Actually do. They actually
The man
do.
fibroid, the man really.
And sometimes they don't even have it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just have irregular period, and they're like, maybe I just think it's fibroid. But my neighbor
Fibroid.
has fibroid.
Yes,
I'm
so that
glad
means I must have it.
exactly. I'm glad that you're coming to the hospital to tell me your own diagnosis,
lie.
even though I'm the doctor. But
Please take my medical degree.
exactly, take it.
Or just when they are unable to have kids, they'll be like, I have fibroids, I have this. So fibroid, the medical term, like they'll call leiomyoma, it's also part of the causes of abnormal uterine bleeding. So now, we are talking about like absence of the bleeding, but now in cases of like recurrent or frequent bleeding and heavy bleeding. So fibroids in normal term, the uterus, it has layers, like it has mucosal layer, submucosal, like let me not even go into those stuff. So there is a layer in the uterus in which like a tumor usually develops from.
Okay.
So when I say tumor, don't think it's a cancer.
Don't go and say we said on the daily dose that I have cancer.
So some tumors are non-cancerous.
Yeah.
So it's usually a non-cancerous tumor that usually develops in certain layers of the uterus. Sometimes it can also like be out of the uterus. You have like certain fibroids like that. So it's a non-cancerous tumor that develops like from one of the layers of the uterus. So if this develops. Imagine like the uterus, let's say it's like this.
Very small.
Yes, very small, and there is something going on, growing in that area. So just imagine like how the place will be. So some will be imagining like, why does this grow? Like, what happened? You know, maybe in other illnesses there is a cause for the growth, but mostly in fibroids or myoma, it just occurs. Like, it's unknown. They are not able to tell exactly like what happens, what leads to the growth of that tumor in the uterus. Other people can associate it, like other studies can associate it to genetical reasons. Let's say your mother has it, your sister has it, and you also have it. Other changes can be with our lifestyle factors, with some of like lifestyle, like
Smoking,
alcohol, those stuff, like other drugs that we
Also being a
use.
West African woman.
That's very important.
That's a risk factor.
That's a risk factor already.
Being African, so
Being
it's
African.
unfortunate that being African can lead to it. And others other causes can be like, one surprising thing, it's like what they call nulliparity. Like, if you don't have a child, like
It makes no sense.
not having a child leading to you having fibroids. So some, like when they reach up to like 30, 35, they start developing it if they don't have kids. So that means like having kids is a protective
protective
Your uterus is
factor.
already angry with you.
You
for
see, I
not
told you to
getting
stop
pregnant.
disappointing
Stop
the
it.
body. I
Stop
told
it.
you.
Say
He said no.
Now I'm gonna give you fibroids.
It's like your uterus is creating
its
its own little baby in there.
No, it's rioting.
Yeah, it's riding against you.
I'll make my own.
Yeah.
But this one you would not like
You
it.
don't like this one.
So it seems like there is a cause and effect for everything. We are
Yeah.
happy that like those menses not come always, but now not having a kid also will predispose you to have fibroids. So like I say, like it's a non-cancerous tumor that grows around the uterine wall. So now if this grows, because some you just have like maybe 1 or 2 balls, like let's say around the
small.
uterus, they're very small. You might not even have symptoms, like you are fine with it. But others, it keeps on growing. So some fibroids, like let me not even make some people, it can be up to like
The size of a
like
head.
my
It's
head.
really big.
My head, yeah.
I've seen
We've
one
had
that was way too
cases.
big, way too
Yes.
big. It was as big as a baby. I
Yes,
remember.
yes. I think I remember. I think it was
I
the
think,
same
We
case.
were in the same case.
Yes.
And that woman, she actually came. We thought she was pregnant.
Yeah.
It was fibroids. When the fibroid was out, I was shook.
We were
I
all
couldn't
shocked.
actually believe it.
Even the doctors were shocked.
Even the doctors were like, this
Wow.
is the first. Yeah.
And the thing is that for a long time she thought she was pregnant, and that's a misconception that a lot of women with fibroids have. They feel like, oh, because my stomach is big, I must be pregnant.
It brings me back to go to antenatal.
Yeah.
No, something that you usually see is someone that tells you, "Manmangi be ripped last year."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Those kinds of those statements, they can usually point you towards.
I've been pregnant since last year.
Since last year.
And-
So
and-
because your belly is, and it's in the lower belly where a baby
it
is
would
supposed to
look
be.
like a pregnancy.
And considered a person that has been looking to get pregnant for the past
long
few
time.
years.
Unfortunately.
There's societal pressure, there's all this, your in-laws doing this and that. So you're already stressed out.
Yes.
So this is one of the things that we call pseudosciences, as in you have a fake pregnancy in your own head because you want to believe so bad that you're pregnant.
pregnant.
You don't even want to go to the hospital for them to tell you anything different. So they have the notion that they're pregnant. So because of this belief, their body also gives them all the other signs of pregnancy.
Yeah.
You have the nausea, you have the vomiting, coupled with the fact that the fibroid is still growing.
It's very mental.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, there's just a lot of disappointment, and it's a very heartbreaking thing to see.
For them.
Yeah. Which is why it's very important to go for your antenatal.
It is.
Especially
The
like in
moment
your
you have a
first
little bump,
exactly.
Not even the moment you feel like you're pregnant.
Exactly.
If you can't take a pregnancy test, which is very, very
Just-
very, very easy to get, actually, very
Yeah.
accessible. But in case you can't do that,
You
you
just
don't
go
have to
to
just
the-
go to the nearby
Yeah.
pharmacy to
I
your
know.
house and nearby pharmacy.
And get one.
Your house and
get
get one.
They're very readily available and they're
Exactly.
very quick to what's it called? To
for
use
the-
exactly, and very
It's
easy to
always-
understand as well.
exactly.
So
Even if you don't understand, I think nearby pharmacists
They can help you,
It's very easy
exactly.
to actually understand it.
yeah.
But we'll talk about antenatal.
So for a person with fibroids, what happens to their menses?
So with fibroids, now they will have the abnormal menses. In a case that, we are talking about the cycle length from 21 to 35, but they can have it less. You can see some people will tell you 2 times in a month, I will see my menses. And their menses will be so heavy. Because if they were using like 3 parts like in a day, they can use up to 4 or 5 parts, and they will be so soaked. And some will be like, I saw like clots. Look at I donja for no. That's how they will describe it. Because if most of them come, if you tell them that like tell me about your mens, they will like, it's so heavy. That's why I donja. So that's how it comes. Like it will be heavy, and their clamps are, you know, you're like PCOS, the clamps are usually worse. Their clamps are also worse. They have heavy bleeding with the clots, and they also have other symptoms, like they call like the pleasure symptoms. Like, you know, as that tumor is growing, like it's pulling down on their pelvis. You know, you have the pelvic muscle, so it's pulling down on it. Some will be like, I have constipation. Some like they will just present, I have constipation. I cannot go to the toilet. And some funny enough, they will be like, there's something moving in my stomach. If it comes here, like
It confuses me because when Hangaman, it could feel more than understand.
Yes.
But mostly when our mothers talk about fibroids, and they were yen doctor yen hamulen lola nekadiwa. Because the way they see it or the way they perceive it is that so I'm a fibroid that they dunda. So as in it's something that is alive inside of your womb and it is moving about. I don't know where that misconception came from, but once you remove it and you show them, for the most part, they don't even believe you.
They don't.
Or they would think it died while you were trying to remove it.
I believe the fact that it is alive because it does grow. It does not stay one place. It actually increases.
It's
I would
growing.
believe
And when they say it's moving, you know, it grows in specific parts. Like maybe it can be on the right of the left side. So it's already attached to the uterus. So, but they'll be like, it's moving.
And you know, a lot of the times they usually have like something that connects it to the wall of the uterus.
Yes.
Exactly. So like there's
like a stalk.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then like that stalk could actually move.
Exactly,
So that
moving
could
and
give
Bro,
them the
there is
illusion
no
of-
moving.
No.
There's no moving.
You don't know how it feels. Don't tell them that. You don't know how it feels.
No, it's
Maybe-
possible that it could.
Exactly.
But it won't be a
Possible
lot
that
of
I don't-
movement. It will be.
You have a question. Okay.
It's more on fibroids.
Alright.
I've seen online
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people know how to they've gone through surgery,
Mm-hmm.
growing what? Like what is the cause of that? Because my fibroid is coming back and I have to go back for another surgery. What causes it?
Yeah.
It could come back. No, fibroids can come back.
Yeah.
Like she would. Okay.
You know, with fibroids, I say the exact cause is unknown. So even if you remove it, there are already risks. Let's say, like, as a female, like as an African, you are already at risk of having it. And if you have it once, like in other illnesses, there is usually a higher risk of having it again. So even if it's removed, there is still that risk that's there. So that means that like there is a possibility for it to come back again. So it's not as if once it's removed, it will not come.
The thing with medicine, right? If we don't know, we give it a big term. And they are, this is idiopathic. Right? We go to the doctor and he will tell you
Like,
this
figure it
illness
out.
that you have is idiopathic.
We don't
So
know.
it's going to sound, for us, it sounds like, you know, this guy knows what he's saying. In a nutshell, it just means we have no idea what causes it. Okay? And fibroids are one of those things. We know that genetic predisposition is there. Because I'm on Noko or some I'm on Noko Munda Monica Sio. Because you're black as racially, there's a high chance that you would get it. And all those other stuff. Lifestyle changes or smoking and alcohol consumption. But there's a lot of women that have it that don't smoke, they don't drink alcohol. The only thing is that, maybe they are black,
And they're women.
they are women,
That's it.
and that's it. Because they don't even know any family history.
Yeah.
Even women that have already had kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have fibroids while they're pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have like.
And you know, we are like with fibroids, some will not be able to have kids and babies, but some have babies and they still.
Some have a lot. Some will come with
The interesting thing
Obviously, yeah.
is majority of women, once if you go to a hospital, a lot of women, you go to a hospital for a scan that has nothing to do with fibroids. You would find out that you have 1 or 2. They might be so small that it's not going to cause any problems for
You
you.
don't need to take it
But
out.
then the problems that we are talking about are those women that have fibroids that are so large
they cause
that is
many
actually starting to
symptoms.
cause problems for them.
So,
Or it is in a location, like you mentioned, there are layers in the uterus. If it is in the muscle layer, like in the middle of it, or the submucosa, right, where the bleeding is supposed to happen, it means instead of having one small uterus where you're supposed to bleed, now you have grown something else there. So there's more space for bleeding. So you'd end up bleeding a lot more than everybody else.
Yeah.
And if you're going to cramp, The thing that is supposed to help you reduce the cramping a bit
It's in trouble.
is now a lot larger. So now you have to cramp a lot more to be able to remove the blood as well. So you will notice they have more painful periods. They have heavier periods, and they have periods more frequently.
They also have other pressure symptoms like the constipation,
Yeah.
sometimes urinary problems, and also anemia.
Yeah.
Because they're
You're
bleeding,
bleeding
a
too
lot,
Bleeding a lot.
so their blood levels are dropping.
Yeah.
That could lead to anemia. Fatima, does that answer your question? Okay. So
And even with the recurrence, like if you have it, let's say from like genetics is so important. So you already have genes that will predispose you to it, and you cannot change those genes.
unfortunately, you can't change. your genes.
Unfortunately, you cannot change those. So you must like there can be a recurrence
And even
always.
estrogen is a risk factor.
Yeah.
Estrogen, the female hormone. Like,
Early menarche.
yeah,
Seeing your
early
period
menarche,
very early.
which is like early menses.
Menses.
Seeing your
Yeah,
menses
early.
very early. Or like we said, nulliparity, not having a baby. So basically, things like early menarche or early menses and nulliparity, they prolong the period of estrogen's dominance in your body, basically. So when estrogen is just free to roam for that long, it just starts, feeling very strong and just starts doing what it wants around the uterus.
Yeah.
So that's why you have things like fibroid. That's one of the reasons why you have fibroids.
So estrogen is the hormone that helps you see your period. It tells your body to send blood to the womb because it is expecting that you're about to get pregnant.
Yeah.
So for a person that has never gotten pregnant before in their entire life, what is happening is there's a lot of this estrogen that is influencing your womb. So for that reason, there's a lot of problems that can come about. So that's why pregnancy helps, because it means for 9 months, your body has break from estrogen. So if you've never been pregnant, that is the reason why you can have some of these. Fibroids is just one of them.
For estrogen, sometimes I usually say it's very fussy. Like for fibroids, it will cause it. But other
Pussy hormone.
It doesn't make sense. Very curious. It's
Causes a lot of
everywhere.
stuff, from cancers to fibroid to.
But at the same time, estrogen
It's
is very
protective.
protective.
Yes,
Yes.
it's protective, but also causing problems. Like choose a struggle.
You get like just choose one side. Do you want to be
one
good or do you want to be bad?
It's on the fence. It's just there.
Okay, so now with people with these symptoms, you have like the growth of those tumors. So most of the time, it's because of the irregular menses. And with fibroids like PCOS, women usually report to the hospital when they are unable to have kids again.
Yeah.
Again.
So
Infertility.
they will come and you will ask them, and like those big symptoms, they will have them abdominal pain, like bilbo matey.
No.
But they will not even tell you.
People never tell you I am here because I cannot have kids.
Exactly. They just
They
start
never
with,
tell you
okay,
that.
my
So
belly is
that's
like
why,
this. And then that's why you always have to come and ask,
You
do
really-
you have children?
Children.
And then that's where the story
Yeah.
starts.
Yes, they start talking
Starts.
about how 5 years ago they
Exactly.
wanted this, they did this, they did that.
No, there's a patient that threw me off once.
Oh, imagine it's
The,
exams.
the doctor told me to go and ask the patient why she came to the hospital. I asked her, she said, Birambane Academy.
And you start
Right?
clapping that.
Bebe de mom dude muna leka buba or homa naka 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 naka, right? So I went back and I told the doctor. She said she has abdominal pain,
I already
and
know how
then
the story is going.
ugly.
Here's the thing.
Then when the lady came and the doctor asked her, hello, good evening, good morning, ma, how are you doing? So what brought you to the hospital? Doctor, I've been married for the past 5 years. I was like,
From where to where?
I've not been able to have a child. I'm like, why are you doing this to me?
This is what patients do to
It
you,
doesn't happen to, it
especially
happened
to
to me once,
students.
and then I think one house officer told me you need to be very careful. So every time I do a gynae clacking, if I'm done asking you about small things, the next thing is, do you have a baby?
Baby.
Yes.
If you're married, do you have a child? That's if you tell me no, I know what I'm clacking.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to ruin my exam. for me.
Exactly.
Like, do you know how crazy that is to do that to me?
They will throw you off entirely.
Imagine you have somebody like Dr. Marina there, and the
Oh
patient
my
has
god.
infertility, and you're clacking stomach pain.
He will just look
I'll
at
see you
you.
next year. I'll see you the
Are you
next
sure
year.
you're meant to be in medical school?
Right? I'll see you next year. When you come next year, you'll tell me whether you know how
Do
to
it
clack
again.
infertility or not.
Like, no, honestly, like patients really, no, not to blame the patients. I understand why, because there's kind of a stigma to like say that I'm having issues having a baby.
Having a baby, yeah.
There's a stigma of like, oh, am I not a woman enough? You get what I'm saying? So they feel shy to like say it. So sometimes you have to kind of, gradually pull them into it. Like, oh, how are you? So what are you here for? Okay, your stomach's
Nice,
hurting.
empathy.
Like, okay, what about, have you ever had kids? Then they'll start talking. They'll be like, oh, doctor, I needed this, I needed that. Like, I wanted a child for this. Like, then that's how you just keep the story rolling. Sometimes they will take you where.
But just a bit of motivation for all of them that are probably scared or ashamed or having feeling like they're not supposed to come and talk about these things. The problem is, majority of the causes or the cases in the Gambia where people don't actually have kids, it's men that are causing it. It's not usually the women.
We'll have
They
a
did a
conversation
study.
about that.
Yes.
Right?
So we
There's a study.
did a study in
I will not
EFST.
even, don't even
Yeah.
say what the study is about.
Exactly.
Let us
So
That's for another
so
day.
we'll
That's
talk
for
about
another
that.
time.
But then just so you know, it's probably not your fault. Most probably not your fault. So when you go to
50%
the
of time is
hospital,
man.
Like
Accepted.
like
Accepted.
even with fibroids, because there was a patient that I encountered. She got married first and was unable to have kids. So she had that disagreement with her husband. He even ended up getting married to another woman, but still she was unable to have a child. So later they separated.
Yeah.
But when she got married again, so she was having like symptoms of fibroids. She decided to visit the hospital. They found out that like she had a very big fibroid. So we are like from the initial marriage, it was because of the fibroid, but because he did not know, like she was at home, like there was no one to tell her about fibroids and so on. So it led to her like ending her previous marriage. So when she got married again, that's when like she came to the hospital because she was facing the same infertility again in her second marriage. So you can see like not going to the hospital or ignoring your symptoms, what it can cause you. Because if she had known from the initial onset, like she might not have gone through all of that. So it was after like so many years, and she was about, is it 35 or 36 years? So you can imagine doing an operation at that stage for her to have a child.
Wow. That's very sad.
And now, like, they can do surgeries for it. But you know, Gambians, we don't like surgeries. They'll be like, your house might be like, they will cut through my abdomen and so on.
It's scary. I mean,
But
it is scary.
yeah,
to see
it's
something like that.
scary. But now we have so many professionals. They will be able to
we can
help.
remove fibroids without even cutting the abdomen.
Yeah, now
Just bunch of small holes.
yeah, just small holes, and they can be removed like depending on the size,
of
like
the fibroid.
very big ones. That's when they will cut through and remove it.
Right.
And others with very small ones, like they can just manage you with other medications and just surveillance for them to see.
For reminding me of the medication. The man that is around your house telling you they have rat poison and also medications that will help you cure fibroids. It's a scam.
It's a big scam. If you
It's a
haven't
big
realized.
scam. It doesn't work like that.
I know.
It doesn't work
And
like that.
recently, what baffles me is like those people who usually go around selling medication, like one medication for fibroids, for polyps, for
polyps, for
infertility, for everything. I'm like,
That
how?
one medication can help with sperm count.
Yes.
What is the
fix
correlation?
everything.
It does not make sense. How
They'll tell you, feel like,
soon
suñ maam yi ñoo ñu ko bàyyee.
and people believe
I don't
those.
want to downgrade those type of medications. Some of these times, like herbal medications, they work. Sometimes, but I will not be here and tell you right now if you have fibroids and this man is selling you a medication that is helping you with polyps, helping you with infertility, helping you with sperm count, then you should take it for your fibroids. If you like, you can take. I will not recommend anybody to take something like that. But
It should not stop you from taking
should not-
actual medication.
medication. Exactly. You can decide, okay, I want to use that too. I would not recommend it. But the best thing to do is actually go to the hospital too. So fibroids are curable.
Very curable.
They can come back again, yes.
Yeah.
But you do an operation, most of the time they wouldn't even come back again. They can't come back, but most of the time they wouldn't even come
Come
back.
back.
Again. It is very easy to diagnose fibroids. You come to the hospital, your symptoms alone would point to fibroids. An ultrasound, non-invasive. You do an ultrasound, they just scan your belly and they see a fibroid. The next thing, you take medications that will help you with bleeding if you have any sort of bleeding, and also to
But
do a
if they're
surgery.
anemic,
Exactly.
just medications.
So it's not such a,
A very big thing.
hassle,
So
exactly.
I think the
critical.
main thing is really just the stigma.
Just the stigma.
Just the
That is
stigma.
the sad part about it. Everything, there's so much stigma around female reproductive health, not just the fibroids, like the PCOS that you're talking about, endometriosis, pregnancy, all of it. There's so much stigma around it. I just hope we get the chance to talk about all of that.
Yes, definitely.
I don't care which auntie is looking at me like, what is this girl doing? We have
Very
to.
important too, because like there shouldn't be shame around
There shouldn't be no
being a
shame
woman.
around it.
It's very normal to
It is
feel
very.
these
That's
things.
all of these things that is happening is normal. You're seeing your
Yeah.
period because you're normal. You have fibroids, not your fault. You're a woman. Race, genetics, all of that. PCOS, genetics, race, all of that
It's
would
normal.
lead.
like as a woman, we have so many things like going around our lives.
Yeah.
So take home points,
Take home points, yeah.
right?
Unfortunately, these are not the only things that could cause abnormal uterine
No,
bleeding.
there's a lot.
There's a lot
more. But we would like to stick with the two common
Main
ones,
ones.
the two main ones, fibroids and PCOS, especially in our settings. Fibroid and PCOS does the job
And like the other cause, maybe something important to mention, like contraceptives.
Contraception.
Like some
Contraceptives,
can just start like using contraceptives and they realize that they have been like bleeding abnormally. So they'll be so scared, especially those who usually use the injectables. So that can also cause the abnormal bleeding. So if you have any of that, you should just go back
So if
to
it's happening to you and you're recently on contraception, maybe a reason to go back to your doctor.
Even little things like excessive exercise. Let's say
excessive
you're an
exercising.
athlete and you have a game to prepare for. Let's say you're a runner. You start exercising vigorously because you're looking forward to that. Just for the sake of that vigorous exercise, it can cause some hormonal issues inside of your body that will stop you from literally seeing your period. So there's a lot of things that can cause abnormal menstruation that we cannot talk about in detail for an hour or two.
And you know, like with PCOS, fibroids, it's usually like women of reproductive age. So people who are like, let's say 60, 70, and they start having it rushed to the hospital because most of the cases, it's usually due to a malignancy, like a cancer. So if you see any of those, you're having that bleeding like from that age group. Postmenopausal, after your menopause.
After your menopause and you're still bleeding, it may be a problem. It is a problem actually.
So they have to go to the hospital.
When we're talking about abnormal uterine bleeding, it's not just bleeding that's occurring with or without like menstruation. It can also be bleeding that occurs after sex. So in between sex, after sex, and you're still having bleeding, it could also be under abnormal uterine bleeding. And we'll also want you to go to the hospital.
Please see your doctor. Don't feel ashamed.
Don't feel ashamed. Go, come and tell us what's going on.
Also,
we're
to
here
add
for that.
to the PCOS, if you feel like you might have PCOS, please see a doctor. There's a way to diagnose it that a doctor will explain. I'm a doctor, but like a doctor in the hospital.
A specialized
gynecologist will explain to you. So if you have had irregular cycles or you feel like you're having a lot of irregular cycles plus let's say a lot of acne or body hair, please see a doctor.
Gaining weight uncontrollably.
Exactly.
You're not even eating much, but you're just gaining weight.
Yeah. It's not your fault.
It is
just see a doctor and get that checked.
And for fibroids, take home points.
Oh, okay. And also, I want to bring it across. I have seen a lot of women complain about the fact that they do go to hospitals for stuff like this, and then they're asking you to do a pregnancy test. And they see it as such a problem because some of them will be like, okay, I'm not sexually active, so I can't be pregnant. But here's the thing, we can't rule it out completely by what you just say. So it wouldn't be harmful. It's just to take a urine test and check if you're pregnant or not. So it is routine.
There's a lot of times people come for contraception and then we tell them to go and take a pregnancy
and
test.
They feel like
they
we're
refuse.
telling them. They would refuse.
Exactly.
And some of them will be pregnant.
And when they do it, you realize they're actually pregnant.
Some of them are not even pregnant. Some of them have never had sex. Some of them are not sexually active. But then here's the thing. It's either we say, okay, the patient says they're not sexually active and believe it, or actually say the patient is not sexually active and believe it, but also do a test that will confirm that definitely they're not pregnant. It's not an invasive method. It's not just invasive. It's just urine.
Because a lot of these medications that we give you can affect a baby. If you are pregnant,
we can't give you exactly.
It would lead to more side effects, or it could affect a potential pregnancy that could be there. So we just to be safe, just to rule it out, just do the pregnancy test.
So it's routine. It doesn't have anything to do with you.
Exactly. We're not shaming you. We're not saying that you're sexually active. We know you're sexually active. We're not saying
even
that.
if you're not sexually active, we believe you. You tell us you're sexually active. You're not sexually active.
Yeah. So we're just following protocol.
We're just following protocols. We cannot.
Before you come and sue us, we don't have money.
Like I've done 7 years. I cannot lose my license like that.
Yes.
But then I think wrapping up, we did talk a lot about abnormal uterine bleeding. The common ones, fibroids and PCOS. We do hope that you guys get a few things out of it. Well, we do hope that you guys got everything that we have mentioned.
I just hope that it reaches the right audience.
We really do hope so. We really do hope so. But
okay, let's just wrap up fibroids.
Let's wrap up, Okay,
like I said, fibroids. Gambian, we have many fibroids.
Oh, they know it very well.
A whole lot. So if you have like the abnormal menses, heavy menses, you are seeing like you don't in your menstrual cycle, maybe one be end and you see your menses, you have pelvic pain, like abdominal pain. So please come to the hospital.
Come to the hospital.
Let us help
We do not
you.
We do not buy it. We'll help
But
you.
the
We're there for
problem is
that.
some people like dread the long waiting hours of the hospital, but it's worth it. It's about your health.
It is unfortunate.
yeah.
And tell me, it's not just the Gambia. I feel like
It's
people do-
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Everywhere
It's
that you go to an
everywhere.
ER, you're gonna wait.
Yeah.
You'll have to eventually
You have to
wait
be
for your
patient.
turn.
So
But there's light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah.
The long waiting, you'll see a very good doctor, very skilled doctor that will help you.
that will-
The
that will
nice thing,
help.
Beanie, you don't even have to go to an ER. You need to find a gynecologist. So
But
you come to
even for
Banjul
that, you
in the
still have to
morning.
wait.
Come to Banjul in the morning. Ask for the gynae clinic. Go and find the nurses and then tell them, I would like to see a doctor. They will give you an appointment. And then you don't even have to wait on that very day.
You can come back another
You can
day.
come back
You
another
can
day.
come back
Come
another
back
day,
on
but
time.
then you'll still stay. You can come back another day, but then you'll
The
still
majority of
stand
them tell
in
you
line.
them work is my doctor.
Just my doctor, but they give you an
So
appointment,
this
so you have to
fixes
go
that.
back home and then come back.
Yeah.
Or you can go to a private clinic. They also have gynecologists
Yeah,
there
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Whichever one works better for
I mean,
you.
the same ones that you're gonna see.
Yeah,
in
same ones in
in
Banjul.
in Banjul are the ones that you're gonna see in Afimet or
Yeah.
also.
So what I would want to close with is never be ashamed of your
Never be.
reproductive health.
Never be.
Like
Talk about
don't be
it.
shy. Like throw it in the bin or throw it in the gutter.
It's normal.
Let's talk
Everybody,
about it. Yeah.
you know,
normal.
Let's talk
even-
about it.
Even
speak
if you
up.
want to see a gynecologist, just tell them, I want to see a female doctor. I want to do this. I want to do that. Don't be shy. So come, people will help you. Nobody will talk about your issue outside. Like if you're in a consultation, it's
Nobody.
privacy,
After 7 years of medical
That's
confidentiality.
what I'm saying. You think after 7 years of medical school, I will sit down and say, oh, okay,
I will
I
not
saw
risk-
Young came to the hospital
I will not risk it for
today,
you.
and she has this and this and this. Do you know how difficult med school was?
Like, I'm not trying to lose my
I'm not
license.
trying to lose my license because of that,
Please.
right?
So just come. Any problem you have, seek help. Seek help and seek
Yeah.
help.
Seek help.
And you should never feel ashamed. I know we've
Never.
said it already, but I really want you to put it in your head. Don't feel ashamed for being a woman and having a cycle and having
very
whatever
normal.
you have. It's normal. And if you go to the hospital and you feel like you're being shamed by anyone there, there are other nurses, there are other doctors, there are other people that you can always be like, I would like to see someone else. And no one's going to be like, no, you can't see someone else. They're
Even
going
if
to
they say,
refer
get up
you.
and leave, are they going to beat you?
Yeah. Go somewhere else. Go to another doctor, another nurse. If you feel like maybe the doctor you're talking to doesn't necessarily understand, don't use that as an excuse to be like, oh, all the doctors there, they
doctors are
didn't
like
listen to
that.
me, they don't understand. You get what I'm saying? Always keep trying. It's your body, it's your health. You should prioritize it more than anything else,
Anybody else.
in this world.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
there's this problem that we have in the country. I think it's a societal issue. Pain, when it comes to women, it is usually downgraded a lot. If a man comes to the hospital and says, I have abdominal pain, we would tend to take it more seriously than when a woman comes and says, I have abdominal pain. For the most part, they'll just say, so it was a period, like, do them nibi. Or you're jigging. If you cannot take care of this, or if you cannot stand this, how would you do labor? You know, so these are problems. And we have to admit the fact that the same people that are within the society are the same people that have gone to medical school and have become doctors as well. So there's always difference in opinion. There's always difference in personality, whether jangana medicine, whether they're kind of doctor or anything like that. So you're meeting different people from different backgrounds and different personalities. So like you said, if you speak to someone and you realize that this person is being judgmental or is not understanding, it's very unprofessional of them, of course, but then don't rule it out. And I'm not saying you're wrong or you're telling lies for saying the experience that you felt. Leave. Yeah. Tell them, I don't think you can help me.
Go somewhere
I want somebody else.
Yeah.
If they don't want to give you somebody else, go somewhere else.
Go somewhere.
Right?
They
It's
can't
your
force
health.
you to stay there.
They cannot force you to stay.
And even as a doctor, you're allowed to refer patients.
Exactly.
You're supposed
You're
to
supposed
if
to
they don't
supposed
want
to.
you to.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Like this is a whole other topic that you even brought up. Like,
Exactly.
we could go on
So good,
forever.
so
Like
good, so good.
I could go on and on about.
We would make
about
sure to
that.
have another conversation
Please
about
invite
all
me
the
for
things
that
that are
one.
happening. No problem. Well, unfortunately, we are running out of time.
Yeah.
And this was a very interesting conversation.
It
I am so
was.
excited to watch it again
Me
and
too,
see.
actually.
And I really do hope again that everybody has gotten something from this. And I'm also extremely glad that Abdul Karim is here too. So it's not just a conversation for women.
Yeah.
A man is here telling you guys something about this, and we really do hope that you guys get a lot from it.
And we
Men should
hope
really
that
care.
we
Men
hope there's
should
going to be
really
more
care.
men
Exactly,
Yes.
that
who
are
would
willing
actually
to
speak
get
up about
Men
it.
should
out,
really care because you have
research,
You
you
have
know.
women in society, even
have
if they're not your
women.
mothers, even
You
if
have
they're not
daughters,
your
your
sisters.
sisters,
Exactly.
aunties, your girlfriends, your wives.
Your wives.
You're always surrounded with women.
Exactly. So
Your
you should
daughters,
care.
your
Your
babies.
daughters.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you don't want to be a neglectful father.
Like-
Your daughter comes to you
Like
and
Abdul Karim
you
said,
know.
don't be just a spam donor now.
Exactly. Be a
Just
father. Be a present father.
Be a man.
Exactly.
I saw my period today. Go to your mother.
Like,
Exactly. It's
no,
not
let me
something like
help
that.
you, you know?
One thing big up to my dad. I just want to say, I really appreciate
Big
my
up
dad.
to present fathers.
Exactly, big up to present father. Because like when I saw my period, he was one of the people that I told first. After I told my sister, I told him, and he was very, very supportive. So, and I was really shocked because I was scared.
Yeah.
But then he was very supportive. I say maybe a bit more supportive than my mom.
I remember this time it was just me and my dad too, and then I was like around 16, and I used to have so much period cramps. I would wake my dad up at 3 a.m. and he would just be there with with medications. And I'm so grateful that I had my dad there for that, to be honest.
So yeah,
Men for the win.
we didn't say that.
Yeah. We're not talking about that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming on this episode. And we do hope to see you guys again. This was a very exciting.
This was such a good episode.
It was,
very educative.
very educative.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was
Anyway,
fun.
thank you guys so much for tuning into the Daily Dose, and we hope to see you guys in our
And
next
this is
episode.
Optimizing Health, where medicine meets
Meets the
real
real
life.
life.
Thank you.
Thank you.